Sitting all posh, like. Okay. The traveler's life for me.
Yep. So, this is Maggie.
This is Christine.
We just got
Can
back.
we do that again?
Can we do that again?
No, just let it keep going. So.
Okay, fine.
Okay.
I'm Christine. This is Maggie.
Yes, I'm Maggie.
We just got back from London, where we had a really amazing theater experience.
It's an experience.
Yes, it was an experience. It wasn't just we saw theater, we experienced theater. It was amazing.
Yes, it was fantastic.
And we decided we wanted to talk about it.
Yes, it deserves a conversation. Now, where to begin?
Maggie has a newfound love of squares.
Oh yes, the squares! The squares! Oh, those squares. At first, when I saw those squares, I was like, oh, that's nice. There's this red square on the floor. And then, as I was watching it the first time, I was like, that's kind of important. That square.
We got to see this show twice. We were so
Yes.
incredibly, amazingly lucky. Oh my god, the serendipity.
It was...
It was nothing but one day of serendipity after the other.
We got
Oh my God.
lost.
We got lost repeatedly.
We
got lost repeatedly on the way to try to see this show. We didn't even have tickets the first day. We got lost repeatedly. Ended up getting there like an hour later than we planned to start waiting in line.
An hour and a half later, because we only...
Oh yeah, we only had like half an hour to wait in line before the box office opened.
Exactly. And then when we got in there, all of the seat tickets had just sold out.
Yeah, so we got a pair of standing tickets.
Yep.
Very lucky there.
Mm-hmm.
Very
And
lucky
then
there.
we asked about the workshop.
Yeah, Shakespeare workshop. Coriolanus. Lady looked at us like we had 3 heads. I was like, is there a waiting list?
Like, what's that?
And she was like, no. It was the workshop that's supposed to be like going on at noon or something. And I'm like, it was on the website. And
She's like, oh, that. Well, we don't have a waiting list for that.
but if you wait in this other line that doesn't actually exist, I can check in about 15 minutes and maybe get back to you.
So 20 minutes go by.
It was like 5 minutes before the workshop's supposed to start.
Mm-hmm.
And
she comes out because she just called and...
they're cancellations.
Mm-hmm.
And we were like, bonus! We've got tickets and we get to do a workshop! Oh my god!
Life's amazing!
So we went and did the workshop, which was so incredibly fun, and we met some really nice people.
Yes. Oh.
And ate at Mars bar, because we didn't have time to eat.
We forgot to eat.
We forgot to eat. We do that, Maggie does that.
Yep. Oops.
And then we went to
go see
the matinee, yeah.
Because it lasted 2 hours. One of the reasons we couldn't eat is because we thought it was 1 hour when it was actually 2 hours.
Yeah, the workshop was 2 hours. I
And
misremembered that.
And so there was about half an hour before the show started, and we wanted to get good standing seats, good standing positions.
If that's even possible. I mean, they were pretty much all equal.
Yeah.
They're just arrayed across the top of the back, and
rail.
it was either you're looking down at like straight or you're looking off at like 15 degrees. I mean, it was like...
No real difference.
Yeah, it was a nice small theater, everything very intimate, and there's really no bad seat in the entire theater, which I always like.
Yes, that is nice. And it got so many different viewpoints.
Oh yeah.
That was great.
Yeah. Different viewpoints. We like different viewpoints.
Yes, vantage points. Whole new perspective. So we were standing up there on the railing next to this couple that was in line in front of us, who were now standing in front, like next to us. And this clerk...
Usher. Not clerk. Usher.
This usher comes over to us and says that they have...
Like 5 minutes before the show's supposed to start.
They've got a couple of open seats that they need to fill, and asked us if we were a pair, and we said yes, so we went downstairs. No sooner had we sat down when the people who had the seats walked in.
And we were like, no, back upstairs. He was like, back upstairs, and the ushers are like, this way, sorry.
Yeah,
I was
sorry.
Like, this way, sorry. And we're like, no, it's okay,
It's
okay.
fine. We get to see the show.
Yeah, we got to see the show. That's more than we thought we'd be able to do.
And then we made friends with this couple that was in line before us, standing next to us, and there was a pair of seats on the top balcony that was in front looking down.
They were eyeing them greedily.
Yes. And
like 30, like they said it was like 1 minute before the show was
1 minute
supposed to
before
start.
the show started.
The ushers come back, and like as we've been looking down at these seats, they're like there, and then like there, and then like we looked down, and there was like two front row seats, not the same seats that we've been led to before, obviously, because those were full of people now, but two front row right up against the stage.
Oh.
And
we were like, wouldn't it be nice if we could have those seats? It doesn't look like anybody has them. Da, 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 da.
And the usher comes back. The usher comes back and says, "There's some more seats down there, and they're even better than the next, but you can only have them than the last, and you can only have them for the first act, because if people come late, they have to wait outside until the intermission."
Exactly.
So leads us down to those seats, right up against the stage, and we were like, and we're like, look up, and like the people from Jersey are like looking down at us, and we're like, and they're like,
oh, that's another thing. They were from Jersey. I go to school in New Jersey, and it was like small world. And then
the show started, and Maggie's mind was blown.
Oh God! At the end of the show, I just literally could only sit there and go, he couldn't do anything.
Yeah.
Shit.
Apologies. Pardon our French.
I remember the first thing I said at the end of that was, he couldn't do anything. There was nothing that he could have done to avoid that situation. The only thing he could have done was died. That's what I remember.
Yeah.
And then we proceeded to pick it apart.